City, you guys, and guess what? We got us a +1 in the building, not just the +1. I've been trying to get this young man on here for a minute. He's super busy. He's running around selling books, doing this, that, and the third. He's a DC legend. He's one of my favorites. His backstory is nothing short of amazing. I'm going to let him tell it himself. Give it up for the one and only Sean Teflon Branson in the building. Yeah. Hey, good to have you, man. I finally got you up here.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute, man. So shout out to Mustafa, first of all. That's one of the homies that had a hand in helping you get your book up.
Yeah,
What's up, Moo and Vet?
Shout out to Moo and Vet.
y'all.
First of all, tell the people, your name and where you from. Let them know where you from. We'll get into it.
I'm DC, man. DC home. I'm from Washington, DC, man. Born and raised, man. Sean Branson, for those who don't know me. Author of this best-selling novel right here, Money, Murder, Mayhem.
Hold that for me. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. Keep your hands on that. So, Money, Murder, and Mayhem, how did you come up with that title?
It actually came to me, man, in a dream, man. A lot of my material come to me, man, while I'm asleep. So,
so I'm not the only weirdo. You do that too.
Yeah, yeah. I used to try to challenge myself to remember things, and I always forget, so I keep a pad by a nightstand by the bed. So I wake up in the middle of the night and just, write down my thoughts, whatever I dream.
I do the same thing. That's why she laughing, because I thought I was the only person. So you came up with this in a dream, and so you woke up and said, Money, Murder, Mayhem.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Never changed your mind.
Nah, it just clicked. Title. It clicked. It just sounded like it just flowed perfect for what I was writing about. So that's what it was.
So let's back up a bit, because I'm going to talk a little bit about your journey, but I want to get into what you have going on, because you've changed your life around. You got a lot of good things going on, including this amazing book right here. But for those who don't know, a lot of people watched you, and they was calling me because they saw you on Vlad TV. So you got over 1 million views on Vlad. So for not to be a celebrity status, so to speak, or somebody who's coming from the basement, that's humongous. First of all, so congratulations, because that was super big. So did they have any part on, projecting your career from that point?
Yeah, it catapulted for a little bit. You know what I mean? The Instagram page I had, I ended up losing it, but it's funny how people see me, they recognize me from the Vlad interview all the time. I get it every day, no matter where I go, I get it. Somebody recognize me. So the Vlad interview, along with Flip the Script. Gully.
Yeah, shout out Gully.
Yeah, they helped a lot. They helped a lot with helping me get this material out there to the people that I probably wouldn't be able to reach this through my page alone.
Yeah, yeah. So you've accomplished some feats that a lot of authors can't do in a lifetime. Like right away, your book was already outselling. What'd you say the guy Sean Spencer's book? In pre-sale.
Pre-sale orders.
Right away. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's humongous.
Yeah.
And so what was one of the things that you used as one of your biggest marketing tools?
One of the biggest things I use is the Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram, man, word of mouth. We had a few book signings, major book signings. One in particular was at the flagship Barnes & Nobles in New York.
Let's talk about that. So you broke a record.
Yeah, I made history.
Yeah, you made history. Let's tell them a little bit about that. So how did you end up making history? Because I'm an author as well. I didn't have that opportunity.
With that particular Barnes & Nobles, they don't do urban author signings there. They only do celebrity signings there. And the day that I was there, I believe it was the next day or 2 days later, they had Kobe Bryant that was there. I wish I could have stayed to meet him, but the parole thing and with the restrictions, I had to get back. But
so that's the caliber of people that they normally have the book signings for at this flagship. This is the flagship.
Right. So the manager was telling me, he took a chance on us. He told Mustafa, man, shout out to Mustafa and Yvette for helping put this amazing book out. But he told them that, they had doubt at first that I wouldn't sell more than 5 books. We took a box out there, man, and left 4 on the table.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, you see that?
So we sold almost 50 books out there that day.
And so I'm thankful to hear this, because it's inspiring. We're all on the same path. We're on this author journey. And so we talked about your film even becoming a movie. Your book even becoming a film as well. So let's get back into it a little bit. I'm ahead of myself. I want you to give them a little bit of backstory. So they call you Teflon. Why?
Well, actually, the media gave me that name.
The media?
I didn't give myself that name, and I don't want to glorify, the history behind that title. I'm trying to get as far away from that as possible, right? But
I'm glad you said that.
I was charged with a lot of homicides, and I ended up beating them. So as I was beating these cases, the media, the Washington Post, ran an article about me on the front page of the Post, not the Metro section, but the front page, right? And they labeled me Teflon suspect. And within inside the article, they gave me the nickname Teflon Sean.
Teflon Sean.
Yeah.
So that basically was just saying these cases wasn't able to stick.
Right.
They couldn't get these cases to stick on you. And so that name propelled you in the streets. That name kind of stuck in the streets.
Yeah,
as well.
because it's another. It was I don't want to try to make it seem like it's it's cool or it's something to be proud of or nothing like that, right? But I was the only black person that the media gave that name to after Ronald Reagan and John Gotti. It was only 3 of us.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a known fact. And so to get back to your story, you came up on the Douglas side, on Douglas Street.
Right.
But that's right around from Montana.
Right up, not too far, probably like 3-4 blocks.
Yep. And so, because I spent some time up Edgewood. And so when you was around Montana, I probably was up Edgewood. So I get you. So Montana was a place that was moving real heavy at the time. I come from the streets myself, so I'm real familiar. So Montana was one of those places where it was a real heavy flow of drug trafficking, and there was a whole lot of activity.
Yeah, it was an open-air drug market.
Yeah,
So
it
was.
You gravitated to that neighborhood.
Yeah, my mother, she tried to keep me off the hill, but I got bit by the money bug at a young age, and that's where I can get it and be comfortable at getting it. So that's where I migrated to. You know what I mean? I went up there with a couple of my best friends from school, Tony, we call him Pork. You know what I mean? Dragged me up there and corrupt me.
He done mess you up, Sean.
Yeah, he corrupt me. You know what I mean? But it's all good. I got love for him. But yeah, that's where we migrated to, man, and we did our thing up there.
Yeah. So fast forward, you had a few incidents here and there. You caught a couple of charges along the way. By the grace of God, you beat those charges and you move forward. So then this last charge, I think you beat like 9 charges, right? Total. So the only person I talked to, I interviewed Jay Prince. Shout out Jay Prince. And the big homie had beat the feds about 6 times, 5 or 6 times. And I thought that was amazing because this was all federal charges. So it's really hard to beat those charges.
Right.
We know. So shout out to your attorney, first of all. What's your attorney name? It's God Almighty.
Bernard Grimm.
Yeah, he a bad boy.
The best in the business, man.
He has to be
Yeah.
the best in the business. So fast forward, and before we go any further, let me just say this, because my book kind of has some of the same portrays some of the same images in it. I don't want people to think we glorify anything of our past. We're just grateful to get over our past and get to the future. Right. A lot of people never got to change their mind. A lot of people. And so for this young man, he got to change his mind, and that's what we're doing. We're not glorifying anything. No. Well, I wouldn't be on this platform. I would be in jail.
Stan, the thing with my book is, right, I wanted to give, my younger homies, the ones that come up under me and the ones that come up under me for them that wasn't alive back then and know what was really going on in the streets of D.C. when it was labeled the murder capital, right? I wanted to give them some insight from a person that actually lived that life, that was in it, so that they could see, man, the ramifications of those actions, and the things that you got to go through. A lot of my friends didn't make it. They didn't make it. They taking dirt naps, man, forever, and some of them spend the rest of their life in jail. So this is a vivid depiction, man, of what it was like back then and what can happen to you back then in them streets if you didn't stick to the code, or, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to try to help the youngest, man, see, what can happen to their life, man, and get them to change the trajectory of how they think. So
I think that's a big deal. I think that's a huge deal, and that's something that I was going to lead into. How do you see the young kids? Like for me, I grew up in that 88, 89, 90 era where it was real crazy out here, where you had to have, if you was active like myself and yourself, then you had to have a vest, and some other things was going on to survive every day, right? And so today I see a lot of recklessness in the streets, some with no code at all. Children are involved now, old people involved, a lot of women involved. What would you say to the younger kids, like you say, you want to tell them something? What would you give them to say, learn from me? Like, what would you tell them? There's a lot of shooters out here right now that's really not for that, but they're doing it.
Right. First, I would tell them, man, think before you pull that trigger, man. Use your intellect over your emotions, man, because a lot of the things that's going on out here right now today be it be frivolous. It be stuff that's starting about Instagram posts and people comment on pages that ain't supposed to be commenting on, and beef start and people die. You know what I mean? And I just advise them, man, to apply their intellect over their emotions before they take that road and end up throwing their freedom away for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? Because spending 25 years in jail is not fun.
And so, speaking of that, when you went in, you was what? How old?
I was 21.
So that charge that did get the stick on you was a murder charge.
Yeah, it was murder.
And so they charged you with first degree or whatever, second degree murder, whatever the case was. You were sentenced to how long? 25.
25 to life.
And how long did you have to do on that sentence?
25.
They day for day you?
Wow.
Day for day.
God Almighty.
I ended up making parole on my initial hearing because I was around, older guys that was going up for parole, and I was listening, and I was hearing everything they were saying that the parole board was saying that they needed.
Right.
So I took those classes, and I took class after class, and I made sure, man, I stacked the deck to where as though I made it hard for them to deny me. Excuse me. You know what I mean? And in doing that, it wasn't just to try to manipulate the system or nothing like that. I was actually learning. You know what I mean? I really educated myself in there. I got my degree. I got so many different trades.
So tell me some of the things that you did to occupy your time in there. Name me some of these degrees, because I want people to hear this to see how you bettered yourself. So some of the things that you got into.
Well, one of the
this
things
was voluntary. This is not something that you was mandated.
Right. One of the things that I got into when I was in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania Penitentiary was the dental lab. I ended up becoming a certified dental assistant.
Are you serious?
Dental technician. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
So what made you take on that field of all things?
Because it was something that intrigued me. I like to work with my hands anyway, you know what I mean? So it intrigued me, and then, I always looked at it like, these doors gonna open up for me one day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to try to educate myself so much so that when I do get the opportunity to get free, whatever door is cracked, just that much for me, I'm trying to bust it open. I'm trying to kick it wide open.
Wow.
And I want to make sure I got whatever skill that I can grab that these people's offer me for free. I'm going to take advantage of it.
But that wasn't the only thing you did. You did something else.
Yeah, I ended up doing, I got a certificate in concrete polishing, electrical wiring, interior renovating. I got my degree in business management, CDL.
You got a CDL in there, bro?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to take the simulation driver test, but yeah, I took the written test.
Wow.
So you was freeing your mind, keeping your mind free, keeping yourself occupied, keeping yourself positive.
Right.
And so this is what I want a lot of the young boys. I talk to a lot of young boys in prison almost at least 2-3 times a week. I get a call from one of the bros. So the reason I say this is because some of my bros still have a street mentality because they don't have as much time as you had. They might have 5 or 6 years. And so they kind of like still cutting up a little bit and this and that. And I don't know that they're going to fare well coming home. So I just be wanting them to know that if you put something on your mind, then you'll fare better when you'll be prepared when you get out here.
No question.
But a lot of my brodies, shout out to Sting and a couple of my bros that's in here too. My main man, Chris Hall and Mark and all of them, they was locked up for a long time as well. They came home and kept their mind free, and they created magazines and doing plays and promoting and doing all kind of stuff. So these are the people I like to surround myself. So it's an honor to have you on today to talk about your transition. So I want people to hear the transition, not just what you did in your past. So to go in at that young age and get that much time, how did you mentally prepare yourself?
I mean, I was mentally prepared before I even got the time. You know what I mean? From just my upbringing. You know what I mean? And since when I was a juvenile, I caught little petty cases, man, where I went to the juvenile facilities and whatever. But I was already ready. You know what I mean? And I knew what I was getting involved in. So I wasn't gonna do no crying about it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing with some of the youth. Like, don't get involved in something if you're not ready for the consequences of it.
Man, my uncle told me that at 9 years old. That's a big law. That should be law. A lot of young boys now just get involved for the glitz and the glamour and all of that, but it's consequences.
Right.
And I'm glad you made that statement. And so, like you said, you was already built for a certain thing when you was involved. You knew what you was facing. You did your time. You came home. And you mentioned something on another one of your interviews about Alpo. I never dealt with Alpo myself personally, but I never dealt with rats either. And so how do you feel? Like, what one thing you would say to Poe if you had the opportunity today?
Well, to be honest with you, Stan, I'm really not trying to touch on that. You know what I mean, about Poe. But
keep it moving.
Yeah,
you ain't got to do that.
But as far as with rats, man, it's a shame that they resort to that. You know what I mean? When you involved in something and you can't stand up underneath that pressure of the government, or you just can't take being incarcerated, and you gonna give up who you did this crime with just to save yourself. It's unfortunate, man. I don't respect that. Like, if you gonna get involved in something, like I said, you know what I mean, own up to your own actions, man, and accept the consequences that come with it.
And that's just what it is. And a lot of times now, see, we had, like I said, we had some codes, and even in that day, that was something we called breaking code or not keeping the G. And so, I just wanted to say that because I know that a lot of people feel the same way you and I feel. It's just a respect. A lot of people went to prison when they didn't get caught. And so I don't like that. That could have been myself. I was in some stuff, and I could have been that same way. I fared better. And so that was just a blessing. So moving on, fast forward, you transitioning out of prison. You did a lot of time, man. And you was young, so you lost a lot of your good young years. Yeah. So first of all, how the hell you still come out looking 22? Because I ain't figured that part. You see me, right? I'm 53.
Don't get it twisted, but I got some
You
white up in there.
Somewhere.
But yeah.
But you doing good at hiding it, brother. And you took really good care of yourself, and I'm proud of your transition. So now I see you home, and you doing foundations and stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that foundation.
Yeah, I'm working with a community-based organization called National Advancement Association for Returning Citizens, and we violence interruption organization, man, where we try to help squash these beefs in the community, get the youngers in the right direction, man, link them up with resources, man, for housing if they need it, education, IDs, just give them some job training skills, man, and just help them change the trajectory of the way they think, and keep them out of jail, keep them alive. So that's what we're working on.
I love it.
So the thing I love about your story is you're the ultimate, you, E-Class, a couple of you guys, the ultimate when I say being saved. See, what happened is if you would have got cut down short and not been able to transition, then you wouldn't be able to come back at this time and fulfill some of these young kids that need you out here, these young men that need you out here. And same thing for myself, and I thank God for that, because now that you're here, you can do the other side, the other mission that's in the past. And so a lot of people in the city respect you, bro. A lot of people that don't even know you respect you. So you had to do something right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I haven't never heard no smut on your name. I never heard, and I know a lot of people in the city. And everybody holds you in high regard, So salute to that. You went, you stood on it, you did your time, which most people not capable of these days.
I had a strong support system too, man. I had day ones, man, that never turned their back on me, and they never gave up on me. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man, Pork, just to name a few, man. And my better half, man, who, been my ride or die forever. Yes. You know what I mean? She been holding me down, she been there in my corner. You know what I mean? Never turned her back on me. So I got to definitely give a special shout out to, my beautiful fiance Gina, for always riding with me.
So that's a big deal for me. That's the home team. So definitely shout out to Gina. We've been friends for at least 25 years minimum. That's really family. And so she's always been respected, and that's an honor. So I love to see you two together, too. That was a big deal. So when I first met you, that's who you was with, and I was like, cool. I didn't even know y'all was together, to be honest with you, because I hadn't seen Gina. So back to you, man. Wifey, you want to ask a few questions for the people? We had a ton of questions.
We did, but yeah, we running a little short on time. There was one question that came into our inbox, and people wanted to know, after 25 years, what did you look most forward to when you got out? What did you look most forward to doing when you got
besides taking a bath?
Yeah, that was like the number one question from people.
What I look forward to the most was being able to sleep in a bigger bed and a softer bed.
Yeah.
Man, that exercise mattress, man, against that wall, that's not no fun. You know what I mean? It's on a steel bunk, and it's not comfortable at all.
Yeah, definitely not big.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's good. And so, what things are you doing in other than the foundation for returning citizens? Your book is going on. What other things that you have that you're looking forward to doing? As the time as long as we have left on this earth.
Well, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to doing, man, is linking up with my man, and Soundgate Management, man, and we working on putting this script together, man. Shout out to my man AD. Adrian Wright and Josh for helping us, man. Grueling nights, long nights, man. We've been going through this script. We've been trying to get this screenplay together, man, so we can start in this pitch deck and this treatment, so we can start pitching and try to turn this
Book
bestseller right here into a visual, so the people really could see, you know, a real strong depiction about what DC was really about.
I
back
love
then.
it. I love it. We got a young actor in the building too, who I'm like, he could play Sean. There you at, Johnny?
He reached out to me about it, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
if we,
that would be exciting to you.
But that's a big deal, though.
Yeah.
I just finished my script as well. I just submitted actually, and it's a big accomplishment when you finally finish that script and you see that script ready for.
Yeah.
That's that one step. You right there at it.
Yeah.
So congratulations,
Congrats.
man, on everything that you got going on. Is there anything that you want to speak on before you get out of here? Anything in particular? Anything?
Yeah, I just want to just again touch bases on, you know, the youngers out there, you know, our youth, you know what I mean, and a lot of these drive-by shootings, man, you know, we never did that.
I swear.
You know what I mean? That wasn't the way that we operated, man. Women and children are off limits, right?
Yep.
And when you spraying these bullets like that recklessly, man, out these windows and out these sunroofs, man, you got women and kids and grandmothers and mothers and innocent people that just get hit. So I just strongly advise the youth, man, to, you know what I mean, be careful out there, man. You know, try to, you know, not to resort to violence, man. Use your intellect over your emotions, man, when it comes to, you know what I mean, you trying to settle something and not move off impulse. You know what I mean? Just use your head, man, because like I say, 25 years in a Bing is no fun, man. It ain't nothing cool about it.
Yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It ain't nothing cool about it at all.
At all.
And so I don't know that the younger generation is giving it enough thought. Like, I don't know. Like, we had people, like, when I was 9, my uncle, for whatever reason, was telling me, don't write a check, your ass can't cash, and it's consequences. I don't know why at 9 he chose to give me all these rules, but I promise you it was helpful when I got in the street because I had principles. I had something to stand on. I don't know that the younger generation is getting it. Some of us are failing them. A lot of the old heads didn't get it because they were civilians, so to speak. So
you know why,
civilians wasn't
Stan?
in the streets, so they don't know.
You know why, Stan? Like the younger generation, for real, the older guys that we come up under, that gave us the game, and the younger generation, when we was removed from the streets, either we was killed or locked up, it left a generation gap there. So the youngest now, like, I'm not listening to that old timer, man. I ain't trying to hear nothing that old head trying to say, you know what I mean? So it was our duties to educate them and get them the law that the way it's supposed to be so they won't be making the mistakes that we made and lose their life out there.
But we was away.
But we was away.
So once we was away, then they had a chance to sow into themselves.
And make their own rules.
And make their own rules. And this is what you see now, a result of these new rules. The women are not off limits. The children are not off limits. Grandma's getting killed on the porch. The 8-year-old baby was killed in the home. The little young girl, 12, in the thing over there. This is kind of buffoonery now, and it's going to escalate, right? It's going to keep on going and going and going. So it's kind of sad. And so, you know, I was talking to a group, and they said, Stan, well, you know, you can't talk because blah, blah, blah. You know, of course, you know, most people that know me know I was in the, you know, street as well, and I wasn't a saint. I can say that. But we did play different. I swear to you, if people knew me, they know. We played hard, but we played different. It was always a real cause for something, first of all. It wasn't super petty. And then we would put our hands on you, second of all. We weren't afraid to come and put, you know, just knock you out or whatever we had to do. But we fought another day. You was alive, right? So now it's different. They don't do that. They're not physical. We play football, basketball. We was out in the street being physical. They're not physical. And so I don't know that that's a big part of the problem, but I know there's a lot of cowards out here that's doing some cowardly acts, and they think that's being thorough. They think it's thorough to spray bullets and act all crazy. So I'm happy that you said what you said. You made a good point. And so, you know, we lived that life, we passed that life, and now you can move on. So congratulations to you, Sean, on everything that you got going on. We're going to link, and I'm definitely going to make sure whatever I can do to make that happen, that's a done deal. And hopefully our movies will be coming out back-to-back somewhere.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, because when one of us win, we all win.
That's the
right.
problem.
We
We
all
all
in
we
this
got.
together.
We
We
all
all
we
got.
got.
Straight up.
And so we do have to know that black men, black women out there operate like we all we got. We got to stop gritting and acting crazy at each other. We got to realize we got to love on each other, link up a little bit. We really have to do that because we got a lot to offer each other. A lot to offer
agree.
each other.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
we
would
way
love to
better
see that.
together than apart. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, son. Anything else?
I mean, you know, to the people, man,
Love
make
it.
sure y'all
Shout outs.
get this
Any shout outs?
bestseller right here, y'all.
Hey, make sure that
Cameraman.
right here. Make
Money,
sure.
Murder, Mayhem, man. Make sure y'all pick this up. Amazon.com. Everywhere books are sold, man.
everywhere. Make sure you lock in. Make sure it'll be on our page as well. You can follow with us. We'll show you where you can get to that link, and you can make sure you pick up this young man's book. Super proud of you, man. I see the transition. I didn't know you in the streets, but we pretty much. I'm liking what you stand for today, and I thank God that you transitioned and made it out that hole, man. I know that was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20-some years. Give it up for the one and only Sean. Hey, before we get out of here, how can they follow you? Give them your IG, all your social media platforms, everywhere. Get them in. I got to get that before I go.
Yeah, one of my pages is shut down, so Sean _ Teflon Don _ Branson shut down. I don't use that one.
Okay.
Use Sean Teflon Don Branch.
Okay. Y'all got that?
All right, so y'all make sure y'all stay locked in. You on Facebook too, Sean?
Nah.
Okay, cool. So make sure y'all linking on IG, man. Y'all will find them on there. And make sure y'all check out that Vlad interview, too. If you haven't checked it already, it's a real solid interview. It'll go into a lot of more details that I wasn't really interested in. But I was interested in the transition, so I wanted you to hear a little bit more of the big boy Sean. All right? All right.
Yeah, y'all give it up one time for our Spotlight family.
We'll be right back. Stay tight.
Appreciate you, man.